Welcome back, my people. Welcome back to another episode of Asbury Reacts. And today I'm coming across videos on my timeline of, is black people in America, like black Americans, the actual Native Americans, and the Native Americans the ones that we call the Native Americans? Are they the American Indians? Like, it's crazy. Like, I got videos, I got receipts. I want y'all to see them, and then we can discuss this in the comments, and hey, we can chop it up down there. But let's go ahead and get into this video real quick.
They reclassified us. My great-great-grandma was an Indian. My great-grandma was an Indian. My grandmother was a Negro. My father is a color, and now I'm an African-American. Make that shit make sense.
We saw last time several shocking things that genetics has recently revealed, and this comes from a paper that was just published April of 2020, work I've been doing in collaboration with others. We've seen that the Native Americans today are not the first Americans. They arrived in the early AD era, somewhere between 250 AD and maybe 800 AD, from Central Asia. They came over, either mixed or perhaps wiped out whoever was here first, and this shock raises all sorts of other questions that we're now trying to uncover the answers to. Why did they leave Central Asia? What pushed them out? Why would they leave their homeland, make the dangerous trek across the Bering Strait to a land that's foreign, and engage people and overtake them? What did they do once they arrived here? What's their story besides just they came here and the rest is history? And of course, it raises the question of who were the people who were here first? Who did they come from?
We go back to the ancestor that usually that they're claiming is hiding out as a white person. We build out that person's family tree. So like a person doesn't exist in a vacuum. You know, they have parents, they have grandparents, they have brothers, they have sisters, they have cousins, they have nieces and nephews. Not all those people are going to hide out as white people. Some of them are going to go on the Trail of Tears. You know what I mean? Right. And when I was covering the first example, the first story I did on Pretendianism was in 2015. I did an article. That's a whole ism. I did an article in 2015 for the Daily Beast and for Indian Country Today on I went to Dartmouth College, and my alma mater hired a Pretendian to run the Native American program, which is a retention program.
Is that where they go? Is that where a lot of these people go? They go into academia?
Yes, academia is basically a Pretendian factory, you know. And so so people, like, they begin by box checking, and then they race shift more. And so they in this case, she was claiming her grandfather had started his own tribe in the 70s, right? And then his tribe later fell into trouble because all the leaders were convicted of molesting 13-year-old girls in Lenape sex magic sweat lodges in Ohio.
And these are all white people?
Yes, they're all Pretendian Indian. So she inherited his tribe, which was a nonprofit. And,
tribe of pedophiles?
Yes, and claiming to be Lenape in Pennsylvania. And of course, the Lenape, also known as the Delaware Indians, they were removed from Pennsylvania around 1830. And they were moved to Indian Territory, Oklahoma, and also some of them went to Wisconsin. Okay. And so there are two federally recognized Delaware tribes in Oklahoma. Okay. And so, but because they've been gone so long, in the 1970s, all these Pretendians popped up, and there were all these white people living in Pennsylvania who claimed that they hid out for 150 years as white people. And so, but the thing is, like, there's a blog called Fake Indian Blog, and they did her tree, and they found that her grandfather's family came from Ireland in 1902. Like, they weren't even around when the Lenape were removed from Pennsylvania. Okay. And so they were still in the old world. So when she was confronted with this, you know what she said? No. She said, well, my Indian ancestors stole the identity of that Irish family. Yeah, they never admit that they're lying. And so, yeah, so she is still at Dartmouth. She's no longer the Native Americans. Okay. She's a dean now of freshmen.
Okay, this is so crazy. Yeah. I mean, this is truly, listen, I know you don't know me, but I traffic in crazy. And this is another level of crazy. So let me make sure I got this right. A couple questions. So these people exclusively white or primarily white or what?
So on her list, primarily white, just because they're most successful at it. I mean, and so, but there are people of all races. We have, of course, in Hollywood, a lot of them are Eurasian, people who have one white American parent and one Asian parent, and they claim through the white parent they're part Indian, but they use their Eurasian looks to get native roles.
Casinos, holding federal contracts, and living on reservations are not the original Coppertone Washita Yamasee Moorish people. They are mainly descendants of Mongolian Asian migrants who crossed the Bering Strait thousands of years ago during Ice Age periods. From Siberia, Mongolia, parts of Central Asia, and later mixed groups after European contact. Bloodlines mixed with French, Spanish, Scottish, and British. Their ancestral roots are real. But they are not the original firstborn of this land.
So
they came after your ancestors had already established massive civilization.
Say what?
In simple words, they are ancient people, but they are not older than you.
They ain't no nigga now.
Coppertone Moors are the true first people of the Americas. Second,
There wasn't no goddamn Mexicans. The Mexicans were goddamn Spaniards. From Cortez when he come down here getting gold and shit from the goddamn Aztec Indians and the Mayans. Motherfuckers, I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm from fucking Spain. My grandpa's from Spain. We ain't from here. My great-grandpa's from Spain. We ain't Mexico. Mexicans come from Spain. So get y'all shit right.
That's why they're speaking Spanish?
Well, Latin is the biggest fucking language in the world. Panamania, Cuba,
Spain's white.
Honduras. What? So now a Honduran is a Mexican? Come on. Yeah, okay, got this Spain.
Mixed with natives.
Yeah.
And who does Mr. Miller and the Slaughterhouse Cases say the 14th Amendment applies to only and exclusively, pretty much? the Negroes.
That's the first time I've heard that. And so it's going to take me a little bit to kind of digest that, I think. I don't want to offend anybody because I really just see us all as freaking meat sacks with just different melanation levels. Like, that is how I see.
Well, that's why if you really want to not offend people, stop calling people African Americans.
Yeah.
Use the word African, and you're insinuating 12.5% or higher African blood. There's a lot of black races. The Moorish people, all these other cultures, all these other bloodlines that would never in a million years be classified as a Negro. It even says right in the definition, all colored people, Negroes are always colored people, but not all colored people are Negroes. Literally one of the definitions right out of the book. What that definition is referring to is there's a lot of black races that are not of African descent. Certain Indian tribes have very dark skin. There were people who were here in America even before us that had dark skin, and they're out in the sun all the time, or who knows what, and they may look even darker than they really are. All Negroes are colored people, but not all colored people are Negroes.
Yo, I don't know how many people I gotta say this to, but Native Americans, the word Native American is not the legal word or the official word for us. It's American Indian. And I know you guys call yourself American Indians, and I'm talking to the black community. They think they're the American Indians, but no, you guys are Native Americans. You guys were born here, right? You're native to America. Not really, but technically speaking, yeah, you're Native American. Hilarious how pretendians call real Native Americans, such as myself. Hilarious how pretendians call real Native Americans, such as myself.
Actually, when you have black Americans claiming that they are not Africans, they are right, they are correct, because many black Americans are actually not from the slave trade. They are not taken as slaves from Africa to America, because they are the native indigenous Americans with black skin. Before Columbus, before the Europeans came to America, there were black skinned people living on the land. And history also shows with evidence that Africans were traveling and trading with Americans, the Native Americans, way before the Europeans came to America. So when you have...
Okay, I'm going to explain this because some of y'all seem confused. See this lady in the blue? That is an American Indian. This lady in the red, that is a Native American, an immigrant from Siberia. Once again, lady in the brown, that is an American Indian. Lady over here with the feather, that is a Native American, Siberian immigrant. This is an American Indian with the headband. This over here in the red is a Native American, an immigrant from Siberia. Once again, lady in the brown, an American Indian, the indigenous people of America. Lady in the black jacket, Native American, immigrant from Siberia. These are two different people.
Yes, Native Americans are Asian, Eurasian slaves. Let's start here. Why do prisoners wear these stripes? You know where this comes from? When I tell you, it's going to blow your mind. And I'm only doing this lecture because the Pueblo people came on all my posts, and the Native American $5 Indians are now harassing me. Because I want to teach my people the truth, with primary records, by the way. So, let me prove my point, that the current Eurasian and South Asian Native Americans came here as slaves. Primary records only. Captives, Temple of the Warriors, which is the Chichen Itza complex. Black native, feathers, shields. Decorum of all natives. Who are these guys in the stripes? Let's get a close-up. Oh, this is going to end bad. Stripes, they put a paint on their body, so the foreigners would be recognized as slaves. Temple of the Warriors. Ropes, slaves, no feathers, foreigners. You melanated black people, indigenous. These people, Asian slaves. Oh, we got more proof. Manila Galleon. Now, the Spanish learned this route from the Shi. I showed you in earlier videos the elephants we brought from Asia into America on primary epigraphy at Bonham Peck. Well, this is the route. They took the route from South Asia and the Filipinos all the way over into Acapulco. This is why you can do genetic tests and find out that Mexicans and some of the tribal people of this area in the American Southwest had the same genetics as these people in South Asia, some in Northern Asia. What does it say? Port of Acapulco, the Manila Galleon, carrying slaves and other commodities, arrived at Acapulco annually. From there, slaves travel on the what? China Road to Mexico City, or elsewhere in the Viceroyalty of New Spain, Puerto de Acapulco. Here you go. They even called it the China Road. China. Where do y'all come from? Now it's dagger time. All of you Pablo people who call yourself First Nations, you're not. You're on my post arguing with me, calling my people slaves. I'm going to tell you where that word comes from. But this is you, in the same stripes as on the wall in Mexico. This is you. Kachina dolls? Wait a minute. Kachina. Now we understand language that indigenous people use has double, triple entendres. This is what Creole means. I keep trying to tell y'all. Kachina. China. Now Kachina has other meanings as well because we don't have linear speech and they don't understand that. But this is you. Native American prisoners. Slaves. You came here as slaves. See, the problem is the reason why you're so racist when we start saying that black people are indigenous and we can show them on the walls or whatever, it is because you have been miseducated about your own history. You don't know where you come from. You came here as slaves with no culture. This is your people. From Bonham Peck to the Temple of the Warriors to right here. These dolls are in the Brooklyn Museum. Where are they selling these dolls? Auction? See, you don't know Southern Hoodoo. You don't know American Hoodoo, which gave the world all these things that other people are trying to say are pagan. This is the oldest spiritual. This is a boogity doll. We know what this is. And so you cannot deceive us about your origins. The fact that I'm making it visual now is the greatest ritual that you could ever invoke. You should have left me alone. Because now you don't know what this means now that people are seeing this. I do. This is proof you were slaves. Museums have it. Auction blocks are. Why are they selling these dolls? Do you know why? 1941. Look at this. They don't know what this means. They think this means Kachina.
Understand something, and this is gonna be my last video like this, but understand what I'm saying. They came here, knew who you were. Oh, they got the riches, real bad and bougie, real walking with tigers, real demure, real royalty. Stripped that from you. Made your ancestors prisoners of the war. Told you don't worship your ancestors because they know that the true wisdom is in your ancestors. But we gotta teach you that that shit is demonic because you have to have a relationship in the spiritual in order to connect to your ancestors. That's going to install this information to you, through your fucking DNA that never dies. So we stripped you of who you truly are. And we taught you who you are. But that ain't nothing of who you were. But if we tell you and you know who you truly are, that's a threat for us. Because we know that we're really the underdogs. Then we told you that God is in the sky. We told you to keep suffering. Go to the liquor store. Go to church. Suffer your whole fucking life because God is in the sky. And when you die, don't worry, you're going to have eternal peace with God. In the sky. The pearly white gates. Let's make this shit make sense. Because I'm going to keep applying pressure. Because it's time to wake the fuck up. It's time to take the accountability that you don't want to take. But that accountability is going to change your life. It's time to rewire your brain from what you were taught to believe and start to think outside of it. Because the same motherfuckers that enslaved your ancestors is never going to give you no information to free you.
Third time recording this. Let's give this another go. Anyway, I remember when I first thought I was black. Just black. I know better now, and I've known better for quite some time. Absolutely. For those that don't know, we were already here. We were already here. Before the ships came, we were already here. Before Columbus got lost, we were already here. Before the lies got told, we were already here. We were already rooted in the lands. We originated here. We belong here. We were already here. When the colonizers got here, they did what colonizers do. They renamed and they reclassified, turning tribes into freed men, turning landowners into property, having people choose their mother's blood or their father's blood. Branded it as policy, calling it order. Call it what it really was. Your agenda to destroy, to divide, and disappear. But guess what? We remember. We remember by the numbers, too. Those 5 civilized tribes, they were considered that because they adopted the ways of the colonizer. They betrayed, they hunted, they enslaved, they slaughtered, they stole, and they silenced. There are blood on their hands. There are atrocities that they are due to atone for. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I do not care. Let me make it clear. I'm not asking for permission. I'm not seeking validation at all. I remember, we remember. This ain't no damn trend. Hey, question, how many of you guys growing up, you heard the whole, I got Cherokee in my family, we got Indian in my family, or you had some people look at you, or look at your family and be like, what are y'all mixed with? It might have been considered classism back in the day, but what was happening is that they were recognizing a presence, an identity that they have been working over time to beat, to burn, and bury out of existence. They've been trying to keep this shit gone for a while, and we just keep hopping back up. You can tell from our cheekbones, you can tell from our nose, you can tell from our hair, you can tell from our aura, our presence. If they were really what they were about, and not them raggedy ass $5, they would understand that energy doesn't die, it transforms. Ain't no getting rid of us. We don't die, we multiply. Motherfuckers. Yeah, we remember. The land remembers, the blood remembers. And what's so interesting, did you guys ever think of this? Despite not being on record, despite not being a part of the rally or someone's little fucking paper or attendance sheet, despite not being a part of the practices that they try to gatekeep and all that foolishness, who else felt it in you? Noticed it in your family that, wait, something's different, something's off. Like, hold on, this isn't the full picture. Despite not being a part of those listed things that they like to hold as criteria, like someone's auditioning. No one's fucking auditioning. Get the hell out of here. There's a reason why you feel connected and why I feel connected too, despite the disconnection. And we're gonna talk about the disconnection.
Like, that gives a whole new perspective on shit. Like, those videos was crazy. I ain't gonna even hold you. That had my mind like, what? Because this ain't the type of shit that you taught in school. You don't learn about this type of shit. But for what we call a native person to hop online and literally say that they come from Alaska and they're not the true natives. The true natives are the native people who look like me. It is crazy. I ain't gonna even hold you. That shit is crazy. Like, I'm half native because my great grandma, she's full blood Native American, and she didn't look like him. She looked more like me, and she was full blooded. So it's just passed down through my genealogy. But yeah, crazy, bruh. Crazy work. They got a whole lawsuit going on with this shit. I'm just like, wow. Like, I didn't know that it was this far. I didn't know that people had taken it this far. Like, it's getting hot out there, though. It's getting hot out on these streets. But hey, if you're native, you might want to look into this because it's starting to heat up. But I'm your boy Azrael. This has been another episode of Azrael Reacts, and I'll catch you guys next time. Deuces.